Hello and welcome. Let's solve another interesting question on geometry. All right. So here you can see the above diagram. Please, the diagram is not drawn up to scale. All right. So now you can see we have a semicircle here, and then we have a square inscribed in it. Then we now have a line from here to here, giving to us to be what? 10. So now we are told that to find the green shaded square area. So we want to find the area of this square that we have here. All right. So we already know that the area of a square is nothing but what? It's nothing but side, one of the side, then square it. That is just the formula. But it is not that easy. So we have to perform some analysis before we can do that to get the side of this square. Then we square it, then we get our answer. All right. So for us to do that, we can assume that the side of the square of this square is x. It's an unknown because we don't know it. So if it is like that, if from here to here is x, because it is a square, here 2 will be x, here 2 will be x, and here 2 will be x. All right. So from this from the center of this cycle, if I decide to draw a straight line, the straight line is going to be a perpendicular bisector that will bisect the square into 2 equal parts. So it means if I draw a line, all right, so it means that here I'm going to have x all over 2, x all over 2, and here I'm going to have a 90 degree here, 90 degree here. So here I'm going to have x all over 2, here too I'm going to have x all over 2. All right. So now I know that from this point to this point is, let's call this point O. Let's call this point O. All right. Don't forget, from E to F is x. Let me bring it down. All right. This is O. So from this point to this point is S. All right. So now we know that OB is going to be a radius. OA is also going to be a radius. So if I decide to join this point to this point here, it's also going to be a what? A radius. So now if we do that, we are going to have something like this. All right. So now we can now work with triangle. We can work with triangle DEO. All right. So we are going to have it to be in form of something like this. Something like this. All right. All right. So now if you look at this, you know, here we have a 90 here, but we have already, this radius that we draw here, I've already divided this into, let's say, 2 equal parts. So let's say this place is going to be 45, this place is going to be 45. So here we are not going to have a 90 here again. So now, because this line here is a straight line, it's like a chord and a radius. When they intersect, we are going to have a 90 here and a 90 here. So it shows that we are going to have a 90 here now. So now not here again. All right, take note of that. Now we have DE and O. DE and O. All right. So we know that our OE is what? X over 2. And we know that our DE is what? X. So let's call this OD to be R because we don't know the radius. Let's just name it to be R. So if we name here to be R now, so if we apply Pythagoras theorem now, we can find what our R is. All right, so let's do that. So by applying Pythagoras theorem, you know, it's going to say that the hypotenuse side is equal to the sum of the two other sides, provided that they are all what? Square. So it shows that R square will be equals to what? It's going to be equals to S square plus what? S square plus X all over 2 all square. All right, so it shows that R square will be equals to S square plus, if I share the square on them, we are going to have S square all over 4. All right, shows that R square will be equals to 5 S square all over what? 4, right? So now if I square both sides now, it means that It means that r will be equals to the square root of 5s squared all over 4. So it means that r will be equals to the square root of 5 is root 5, and square root of s squared is what? S, and the square root of 4 is 2. So it means that our r is going to be root 5s all over what? 2. That is going to be our radius. Alright, now we have gotten our radius. Now that we have gotten our radius, now don't forget, we know that OA is also what? Radius. And we have already gotten our OE. So if for us to find our AE, it means that AE is going to be what? OA minus what? Minus EO. That is our radius minus x all over 2. So it means that AE will be equals to what? OA minus what? Minus EO. So which will be equals to OA. OA is our radius, which is what? Root 5 x all over 2 minus EO. EO is what? X all over 2, right? So now our AE will be equals to, if we factor out x all over 2 from there, we are going to have x all over 2 into what? Into root 5 minus 1. Alright, so that is going to be our AE. So it means that here is going to be x all over 2 into root 5 minus 1. Alright, now we can now bring that triangle DE and A as well. So if we do that, we are going to have something like this. Alright, so now we are going to have D, we are going to have A, and then we are going to have E. Alright, so now our AE is going to be x all over 2 into root 5 minus 1. Alright, so here we are going to have 10, and here is going to be x, right? Our DE is x, so that is one side of the square, x. Alright, so now, and then we are going to have our right angle triangle here, because here is going to be a 90, sum of angle on a straight line. Alright, so now this is our hypotenuse side. So if we apply our Pythagoras theorem here as well, we are going to say 10 squared will be equals to what? Will be equals to s squared plus what? X all over 2 into what? Root 5 minus 1 all square. Right? Alright, so it means this one is going to be 100. So we are going to have this to be what? 100 to be equals to s squared plus what? Plus we are going to distribute the square for them. So it means we are going to have here to be x all over 2 all square into what? Into root 5 minus 1 all square. Alright, so it means we are going to have 100 to be equals to s squared plus what? S squared all over what? 4. Then here, if we expand this, we are going to have this to be what? We are going to have this to be, if I put my square on this, I'm going to have 5. Then this multiplied by this, I'm going to have, or let's just leave it the way it is first for now. Let's just leave it the way it is. Okay, let's carry it out. Let's carry it out. So we are going to have 5. Then root 5 multiplied by minus 1 multiplied by 2. I'm going to have minus 2 root 5. Then if I put 1 on this, I'm going to have plus 1. Alright. So now from here, if we continue with this, we know that 5 plus 1 is 6. Alright, so we are going to have 100 plus what? Plus, 100 will be equals to s squared plus s squared all over 4 into what? 6 minus what? 2 root 5. Correct. Now, we know that this is 6, this is 2. We know that 2 is what? Common. We can factor out 2. Alright. So it's going to be 100 will be equals to what? S squared plus s squared all over 4 multiplied by 2 into 3 minus what? Root 5. Alright. Now, it means that 2 here 1, 2 here is 2. So we'll be left with what? We're left with 100 equals to what? S squared plus what? Plus s squared all over 2 into what? 3 minus what? Root 5. All right. So now, the next thing now is we can multiply through by 2. If we multiply through by 2, I'm going to have 200 to be equals to 2s squared to be plus s squared into what? Into 3 minus root 5. All right. Now, if we look at this critically well, you are going to observe that s squared is common, right? So if we factor out s squared, what are we going to have? We are going to have 200 to be equals to s squared into what? 2 plus what? 2 plus 3 minus root 5. All right. So which is still the same thing as 200 equals to 2 plus 3 is 5. So s squared into 5 minus root 5. All right. So now, if I divide both sides by 5, all of 5 minus root 5. 5 minus root 5. So this will go with this. Then s squared will be equals to what? 200 all over what? 5 minus what? Root 5. All right. So now the next thing is, if I decide to rationalize, I'm going to rationalize by the conjugate. So if I do that, I'm going to multiply this by the conjugate of this is 5 plus what? Root 5. All over what? 5 plus what? Root 5. All right. So it means that our s squared will be equals to what? Will be equals to 200. 200 into 5 plus what? Root 5. All over what? So here we are going to have 5 times 5, which is 25. Minus, then root 5 multiplied by root 5, that is 5. Alright, so I'm going to clean this part. Alright, so now we are going to have s squared to be equals to 200 into 5 plus root 5, 25 minus 5, that is 20, right? So we are going to have s squared to be equals to 200 into 5 plus root 5. All over what? All over 20. 20 here 1, 20 here is 10. So it shows that s squared will be equals to what? Will be equals to 10 into what? 5 plus what? Root 5. So if you press this in your calculator, you are going to have this to be nothing but what? 72.36. Just this one that is here, you are going to have 72.36. So it shows that s squared is equals to 72.36. All right. Now, but don't forget, we are asked to find the green shaded square area. Now, the reason why I don't want to take the square root is this. Because I know that the area of a square, you know, this is the side, x, is just equals to what? The side. Then one of the side, then you square. Is that clear? And you can see that this is s square here. This is also s square here. And s square is equals to what? 72.36. So it's going to be what? Unit square. So this is the solution to the question above. I believe you understand this perfectly well. Thanks.